Here we are, guys. The comparison that I know I've been waiting for. Klarus XT11X versus its brand new XT21X. Biggest difference here being, guys, that the XT21X runs on a 21700 cell, 5000 milliamps, and the light does come with that cell. And Klarus's XT11X, which honestly isn't that old at all, still running on the 18650 cell. A lot of us have grown familiar and comfortable with the 3100 milliamp version. So this video is going to be a quick comparison between the two. The user interface is identical between both lights, so we'll go through it with one of the lights and just know that it's applicable for both. And then we're going to finish the video with some beam shots as well, so hopefully you guys like this. I'm going to go ahead and show both you guys the ASI specs on the back of the boxes, because I think that a lot of guys are going to be interested in the differences. And if you guys want to just pause it here, see the differences up close, or whatever you guys want to do. I know a lot of guys like to see the ASI specs, so I figured we just put them beside each other for y'all in this video. We're going to go ahead and move the boxes aside. We've already done an unboxing of the XT21X, so if you guys are interested in what comes in that box, then there's another video that we just posted before this one. Excuse me, so feel free to take a look at that. Without further ado, let's get into it. First things first, size difference. Okay, guys? Very noticeable difference here in terms of the width of the XT21X, which is on your right, and the height as well. And I also want you guys to notice that the checkering on the 21X is different from the knurling on the XT11X. And there's actually a much larger purchase area too on the XT21X than the XT11X. Both these lights are USB rechargeable. Both these lights have side switches, which work in an identical fashion, but I do like how the XT21X has reverted now to a rubber side switch. I think that's pretty cool. From the other view here too, you guys can see here is the tail cap end here, the typical dual switch tail cap into the Klarus's. Okay, and then I'll show you guys the heads and the reflectors. Both of these lights run on the XHP 70.2 P2 LEDs, so the LEDs are identical. Both have the orange peel textured reflectors, and the overall diameter of the light itself, the head is virtually identical. In fact, you can actually lock up the heads on these lights, as you can see here. One big difference though, you might be able to tell, the XT21X is rated in maximum output at about 2,000 additional candela higher than the XT11X, giving it just a little bit of an edge and throw. You can see here from the in the shot that the head is just a bit longer on the XT21X than it is on the XT11X. Okay, cool. And a lot of guys might be curious about this, so I'm just going to do it. I want to show you guys the difference in the cell size, the physical size of the cells. So this is the 3100 milliamp 18650 cell that the XT11X runs on. And this is, just to give you guys an idea, that's a 5000 milliamp, excuse me, Klarus 21700. Obviously that's where the girth comes from, but I think that for some people, seeing the actual physical difference in size of the cell will give you a pretty clear indication as to why the difference in light size is so apparent. Okay, so just one last reminder, guys, the user interface on these lights is identical. So just because the XT21X is newer, we're going to run through the interface on both these lights. The reason I'm doing this is just to show you guys that there's no edge over user interface. They're both pretty simple, and I like that. So, excuse me, first things first, both these lights come with two potential overall mode settings, a tactical and an outdoor mode setting. Out of the box, both lights come in their tactical setting, which means that the mode button on the back, which is the long button, will strobe, and then the large button is turbo. The large button is turbo in both modes, and this button here is momentary, as well as the mode button, and then if you full press, you get the constant on, okay? The side switch button, one big difference between these two lights is that the Klarus XT21X actually has an officially rated, at least what they posted as, moonlight mode. You do not get that on the XT11X. So if you guys are obsessed with moonlight modes, I really like a moonlight mode. That is not something you'll have available to you in the XT11X. It's 5 lumens, rated at a 200-hour runtime on a fully charged 21700. Okay? So what I did was I long pressed the side switch to get the light straight into moonlight mode. Then in tactical mode, it's a little awkward, but if I press the button again, the side switch again, instead of going to the next highest mode, it jumps straight to turbo at 4000 and then cycles down. It does the exact same thing with the XT11X as well. Again, with that moonlight mode, you have one additional mode that you do not have on the XT11X with the XT21X, okay? To change the modes on both lights is really simple now. This is the most simple I've ever found it to be. You click both the mode button and the side switch button at the same time. The light will either flash once or twice. If it flashes twice, it means you're in outdoor mode now, which means that you lose strobe. So now the mode button will take me instantly into low, and the high button is still, as I said before, turbo mode. Okay, guys? Another difference when you change the modes here, now both lights do this the same, but it changes the characteristics of the mode changes, the output changes. So instead of going from high to low, now the light will cycle. Sorry guys, the side switch still goes from high to low, but from the rear tail cap accessibility, if I turn it on, it's in moonlight mode now. It'll just go up from its lowest setting to its highest in order. The side switch mode still maintains the same straight to turbo mode and then reverse order back down to 0. Okay, so that's the user interface of both lights. Both are literally identical. You have a moonlight mode in the XT21X that you do not have access to in the XT11X. Before we go outside for beam shots, we're going to go ahead and show you guys the difference of how the light looks inside of the pocket. So we're going to start with the XT11X, which is the thinner light here between the two. Okay. This is the XT11X in pocket. You'll notice on both lights, clearly it's just the rear tail cap that protrudes from the pocket. I really wish that Klarus would get into making a deep carry clip for both lights. Here's the XT21X, but I still have yet to see those, at least as factory options on the lights. That's XT21X, okay? Cool. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move outside, guys, and actually show you the difference in output between these. Before we do that, I just want you guys to know that it might not seem overwhelming. I think that the theory behind the XT21X is not that they wanted to make the light significantly brighter, but that they wanted to increase run times. So we were really surprised when we ran both these. I think you might be as well. At least to my eye, the XT21X really doesn't outdo the XT11X to the degree that I thought it would in performance. But you guys can judge for yourselves. So here we go. So for the beam shots tonight, y'all, we're gonna use a wooden fence that kind of outlines the yard here. It starts at 35 yards, just to give you guys a depth reference. And I'm going to start with the older XT11X, the 18650 version of the cell. Okay? And I'm only gonna show you guys the differences in high mode. This is the XT11X, guys, in high mode. Again, that fence is roughly 35 yards out. The tree line behind the fence doubles that, between 65 and 70 yards to the back line. Because of that orange peel reflector, it puts out a beautiful wall of light. You don't have an insane intense hot spot. It does a beautiful job just kind of cycling out. And I've really grown fond of the XT11X. Now what I'm going to do with the XT11X on to show you guys if there is any difference at all, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the XT21X now with the XT11X on. Here it goes. Now I'm going to turn off the XT11X. This is the XT21X by itself in high mode. Clearly you can see all the way back to that 70-yard mark. Clearly you can see the fence, obviously. I mean, they put out, remember guys, the diameter of the head is virtually identical on both lights. So you really shouldn't be seeing much difference in spill. The only difference is that the hotspot, or what there is of a hotspot, should be a little more intense on the XT21X. Just to go ahead and kind of clarify this, it's going to be pretty bright for the camera, but I'm going to slowly move the beam down on concrete so that you can actually see a hotspot. And then to the left of it, I'm going to turn on the XT11X in high mode. Sorry, get out of here. So this is XT21X. This is XT11X. And with my eye, guys, honestly, there doesn't seem to be much of a difference. Certainly not in spill, size at all, or even hotspot size, or coolness of white at this distance for that matter. So in conclusion, guys, I just want to say this. I mean, if you guys thought that the XT21X was going to be that much more overwhelming than the XT11X, I'm not finding that to be the case. If extended run times is what you're all about, then you have more capability with the XT21X. That's no question at all. If you guys are pocketing the light, the XT11X in my book is still a winner. So here's the comparison again between the new XT21X and the XT11X. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Stay safe. God bless.